Hello there mates, my name is Gabob. Ooh, this is another devlog of NightTime. This time it's the map editor. I've sure done a lot of work. Whew! Okay, so there we go. We have the startup menu, which we can type the project name. You know, cause if it's empty, it's gonna be called untitled. So we can load, but we don't have to. I prefer to make a new project, so let's just click new. We have this smexy fade effect, and there we go. We have this unfamous grid that's totally not used before, and let's get through the features. Okay, so now we have the basic UI. So this is the axis viewer. So now we know what the axis is right now, like from the view, from the rotation of the camera. So the red is X, corresponding to the, I don't know, order of the color and the position coordinates. Then we have green, which is Y, and we have blue, which is Z, right, or Z. So yeah, that's this thing right here. It moves. Then we have the grid, which helps with the positioning, like to see where we are in the scene. We have this plus. We can click on it, and it shows the list of objects which are in the world. There's nothing here, because there is no object. But in the next part, we're just gonna add an object and go through another tab, which is properties. So now I'll just create a simple object. It's gonna be an empty object. There we go, untitled x0, y0, z0. We have this smooth icon with only the frames. It looks like it's empty, because it is an empty object. There's nothing in it. And but location, rotation, and scale. Rotation and scale do not really do anything because it's not renderable. It's not visible in the normal game, or well, it is visible here, but it's just an overlay to see where things are. So it can be used for, like, I don't know, positions of the enemies where they spawn, or your spawn, areas, you know, that sort of stuff. That can be pretty useful. That's why I added it. So we can change his name to empty. There we go. It changes right here. We can change its position here. You know, Y, Z, and X. It moves in the screen. Rotation and scale do not do anything because, you know, physics. So yeah, well, we have the general settings icon here. There's no other settings, so I guess that's the empty. Okay, so now let's create another object, because it's a static mesh object. Its icon is a static. It's just a wall of bricks, right? Because it's static, whatever. So it's used mostly for terrain. So just call it, I don't know, lamp, I guess. And let's spawn in a lamp. Let's call it mesh. It has a new property called mesh, and there we go. We have a street lamp. What we can do? We can change its location. We can change its rotation in degrees. That's a lot of degrees. We can scale it with Y, Z, and X. It's now pretty big. Yeah, so that's what's that. But then we have another tab which is called materials. So then we have the materials of the object. It has 4 materials. This is weird because it adds a random material, which I don't know what does. It's probably a bug in Blender. So then what we have is we have the texture. We can type the texture of this material, which is, from what I remember, the bulb. So just gonna type bulb, and it has the texture of the bulb. It's yellow, right? Now we have the texture of the actual frame. So we just type street light, that's how I called it. And we have the texture of the street light. Nice! The two of those are not really, you know, worthwhile. So there we go, we have this schmexy lamp. So, I guess that's it for the object. Alright, so now let's check out the lighting engine. So we're gonna create a light source for that matter, and let's call it light. We can change its position, of course. We can change the brightness. That's the only option right now, but of course there will be change for the color of the light, the diffuse, ambient, and specular lighting. So brightness, I'm gonna show you what it does in a sec. But well, we see no changes, right? We can focus on that light. We see no changes because there is no objects to be lit, right? So we're gonna create an object, a mesh that's gonna be lightened, lit, whatever. Terrain. So we have the terrain. I have the model right now. Let's load the textures up. We have the road texture. We have the dirt texture. There we go. We have these textures. Now what we need to do, we gotta enable the shading. So this button that is for that. So we just enable shading. As you see, we have some weird thingies right here because the normal maps are not okay. So let's just change normal maps. So I guess dirt, for that matter. Dirt is okay. And this should be road. There we go. It's fixed now. What we can do, we can of course move it around the light. Move around the place. And if it's like 20, you see it still lit it. It's like really not visible. If it's one, it's really lit this particular place. If we turn up his brightness, it's really going to even lit, you know, that place as you see there. It's really big. So yeah, it's really powerful. I'm gonna stay with 10 because it's a street light eventually. I'm going to do it. So let's just, yeah. Well, I guess that's it, right? We can go in that direction, or in that direction. I think no, in the opposite direction. Minus teleport to it. As you see, we have a hill here, right? So what we can do, we see that the light actually happens to, you know, show, I guess, on it. I don't know if there's more hills. Well, there probably is, but there's a hill right there. I missed that. Please show me the hill. Okay, well, I'm gonna make it down a little bit. As you see, we see the difference between this part and this part. This part is, you know, the wrong way to the light. It's not lit because it's the opposite way. You know the way. You know how it works, right? Math, that sort of stuff. So let's just move it in its direction. As you see, this part is now not lit. That's how it eventually works. So yeah, lighting engine. Now I want to talk about the difference between normal map and without normal map, right? So let's see. We are now focused on the light, right? We see this grass like right here, right? Let's focus on that. So now I'm gonna change normal map. I'm gonna enable the normal map. Look what it does. You see it? It like bumped out. It showed more details. It's not flat anymore. The textures, the terrain is not flat anymore. It has some definition to it. That's what normal mapping does. And it reacts to light. We can specify how light reflects with normal mapping. So as you see there, it reacts totally fine. Look at this portion, like right there, at the left bottom of the screen. It's so nice. That's what normal mapping does. I also implemented specular mapping. It's not in this map editor yet, but it's in the normal game engine. And what it does, I can specify what pieces of textures, how much they reflect the light. Like the, well, there's no specular light. I don't know why though. That's weird. Well, whatever. It's probably this point right here, which like shines really bright. I'm not really entirely sure. But yeah, I hope you like this. I think it's okay. So now let's talk about controls. So what are the controls that make, you know, creation of the maps handy? Okay, so let's see. We can switch about the objects, but also what we can do, we can focus on them. So if I right click on the light, we focus on the light. If I right click on here, we can, you know, focus on that. When I hold my middle mouse button, I can hover. I can rotate my camera around a point. If I scroll it, I can scroll in and out of the point. If I hold Shift and use the middle mouse button, I can pan around in the scene, 3D, right? So it really matters. So that's how it works. So let's focus on the light. Let's zoom in. What we can also do, we can not only move the camera, we can also move the objects without messing around with these parameters. So let's do this. So let's hold control, and we have this key called G for grab. It's the same in Blender. So just press G, and let's specify an axis which we want to move it around. So let's say X. So you press X, I'm still holding control, nothing else, and I'm moving my mouse around. As you see, we can move around. We can move the light around. If I hold off control, it resets. What I have to do for it to stay that way, I have to left click. So that works. That was pretty fine. What we can now do, we can like move that way a little bit. We can teleport to it. As you see, we have this hill over here, right? I don't know if you can see that, but oh, yeah, that's the hill. So like right there, that's the hill, and we can see the shading actually works on that. So if you like move around in the z-axis, which is the opposite, it is. Wait, what is that? How does that work? How does that work? Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that was nice. Yeah, so as you see, the hill right here. The hill right here reacts to light, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, we have this. Shading! Excitement! Yeah. So yeah, hope you like this journey about the map editor, I guess. It's gonna help me a lot in making the map for the actual game. It's gonna be you don't even understand it. It's gonna help me really. Because normally I would have to like hard code it in, which I know takes a lot of space in the code because I've done it before, and it's not really efficient at all. But this is gonna let me manage my terrain, my surroundings, while seeing them. It's not just code, it's not text. I actually see it and I can manage it. I can place everything and I can move it around and I can see what it does. I can change the parameters and see them right here. It's so good. I can't even imagine. It's gonna be so awesome to create this game. It's not gonna be frustrating. Oh, I gotta restart the game. Maybe it works now. This is amazing. I already love this. I already see how I'm gonna be making a map with this software, you can even say. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this ride of new features, I guess. Yeah, so if you want to see more episodes of Devlog and you don't want to miss them, don't forget to subscribe. You can like this video. If you like this video, you can comment it to say what do you think about the map editor right now. What do you think it should be added in the next video? And yeah, give me some good feedback. I also have a website. You can go there. I'm probably gonna put some information about the game there. You have the section games right there. I'm gonna probably do something there if you can. I'm not asking you to. I'm not begging you to do it. If you can, it can be only the small amount of money, but if you can donate, because I have to pay for everything. I have to pay for the website. I have to pay for everything. So if you could, yeah, you could donate me some money. It can be as little as possible, but everything is worth. Okay. So yeah, well, hope you enjoyed this episode, this whole series. If you want it, you can go back to your older episodes, see how it actually proceeded to this point. So yeah, I hope you liked it. See you in the next episode. Bye.